Today I have 6 affordable IEMs with me. Each one has its own strengths and weaknesses, but which one's best for you? Let's find out. Let's start with the cheapest one, the EDC Pro. This is one of my top recommendations for anyone who's on a tight budget. It's a really nice sounding IEM compared to its counterparts. It's really smooth. Box presentation wise, it's nothing special. KZ isn't known for their fancy packages. But that's alright, we're focusing on value IEMs here. These IEMs look big, but they're actually really lightweight. Mainly because the plastic is thin and there's a lot of space inside. And I'm not gonna talk much about the cable. You already know KZ's cables. It's fine for the price. That's all you should know. Sound wise, these are one of the smoother KZ IEMs you can get. They still sound somewhat U or maybe V-shaped. Tons of sub bass, a bit too much for my liking. But again, nothing bad. I'm treble sensitive and I don't really like KZ's spiky design. So that's why the ZSN series are out of the question for me. Same goes with the EDX. Even though they are named similar, EDC and EDX sound vastly different. Don't make that mistake. That's why I recommend the EDC Pro. The EDX Pro isn't bad. For those who like that sharp, energetic signature, that's better. But since I'm giving my opinion, EDC Pro is my recommendation. It's excellent for the price. Here's how the microphone on the KZ EDC Pro sounds like. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's move on to something a bit higher, say the Castor Pro. We have already tried the KZ Castor, I liked it, but this one's the Pro version with some changes. Most people say it sounds fairly similar, so it's not an upgrade as such, I agree. But it's still a nice affordable IEM, so if you are getting one, might as well get the Pro. It still has those switches on the back that we saw with the older Castor. You know the deal, the first two are for sub bass and bass, the next two are mid and top end. These have way more mid-range than any other IEM I've seen, especially in this price. Extremely energetic, tons of bass and top end, so yeah, you'll have a fun experience with these. These are nice for gaming as well. Switch position wise, I would recommend DUDD for bass centric music and DDUD for gaming. That's what I like the most. Of course you can experiment yourself, but that would be my recommendation. Here's the mic on the KZ Castor Pro. Testing 1, 2, 3. Next, let's try another fan favorite, the Salnotes Zero. We have already tried the Zero too. You can check that video if you wish. I was curious to see the Zero and I got them. And I like these more than the Zero 2 because they have slightly better top end and not as much sub bass, so they sound a bit more refined. Compared to the KZs we talked about, these have absolutely no harshness, no sibilance. It's a great sound representation which is, I can describe as cozy, comfortable. Similar to the EDC Pro, nothing will jump out and surprise you with spikes. It's a very predictable experience. I like that. And yeah, they do sound better than the EDC Pro because they are priced higher and are tuned better. These things here don't have a mic, so I can't test that. Now let's look at one of my favorites, the Tangzu Waner Classic. I've already seen the studio edition of this, it was really nice, but this is the classic version or the SG version. It has stronger bass and a microphone which might appeal to more people. And I have to say, no one has their unboxing game down like Tangzu in this budget. Look at this presentation. With the artwork on the box, you also get a waifu cleaning cloth. I mean, what else do you want? Forget the IEMs, that's the MVP here. And this IEM has a lot of color schemes and variations depending on their collaborations and stuff. So you might see like tons of different versions of this, but as long as the model is the same, the sound should be exactly the same as well. And I have to say, the cable on this is also one of the best I've seen in this price. I'm not sure how they do it in this price, but KZ, you need to learn from them. Their cables are much nicer. Again, relatively speaking. Sound-wise, these are similar to the Salnotes Zero, but with better vocals. And I actually prefer this one a little bit more. They have powerful sub-bass, good mid-bass, and a very relaxed treble. Again, similar to the Salnotes Zero, easy to listen to. Now the Zero compared to this has better upper mid-range presence, so the vocals might be a bit forward there, but this one is a little bit laid back. To me, this is a great passive listening IEM. If you just want something in your ears when you're, working or traveling, you don't want something to distract you, but you want a good, pleasurable experience, this is a great option for that. Here's the mic quality of Tangzu Waner. Testing 1, 2, 3. The soundstage is okay in these IEMs too. You can use them for gaming if you wish. Although the Castor would be a bit better because it has that sharp top end. But there's something better than the Castor for gaming without having that harsh treble, and that's this thing. The Technics Aurora Ultra. This is a new IEM. I haven't tried these before, unlike all of the others. This was my first experience and I was surprised. The box itself is the heaviest of the bunch, and seeing that heavy box I was excited. There's something special inside, but turns out it's just a giant giant carrying case. That's where most of the weight came from. It's a nice carrying case, but you'll need a backpack for this. I don't think it's comfortable in your pockets. The ear tips are nicer on this. You can see how wide open it is. And they have individual packets for each IEM. Like, why? That's unnecessary. Just stick them in a foam mold or something. The cable, the cable is not that good in this one. I'll have to say, even compared to the KZs, this is pretty average. And it's a weird half braided, half round cable. I don't get it. But the IEMs themselves have a pretty interesting shape. I've never seen this before. They are super tiny, much smaller than any other IEM I've seen, except maybe the Moondrop CHU. So that should make them super comfortable, and yeah, they are. That's one of the reasons why I call these better for gaming, and the second reason is their unique treble implementation. You see this interesting spike there? I've never seen that before in many other IEMs, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be a sharp nightmare. No, it's not. That particular spike accentuates certain sounds like the drum cymbals or chimes without being sharp. I don't know how they did that. At my usual listening volume, around 40% with this DAC, it did not give me any sharpness, but the soundstage was amazing. And when you're purchasing these, there's an option to buy an additional DAC from Roseselsa again, if you wish. Otherwise, you can leave it out and pair it with your own DAC. And based on my testing, the Audiocular D07 performs better than the Roseselsa DAC, so I suggest you get that instead. But yeah, this tiny design paired with that interesting treble makes it nice, both for music and for gaming. It might be a bit underrated. I'm glad I tested this. Here's the mic on the Technics Aurora. It's closer to the mouth, so it may be louder. Testing 1, 2, 3. And finally, let's talk about the Moondrop CHU DSP version. Yes, we've already seen the CHU 3.5mm version, the one without a mic. I love the sound from it. I recommended that to a lot of people. But this one's the DSP. It has a Type-C termination with its own DAC. Let's see how it performs. Now, I will say that the CHU DSP was the most underwhelming performer of the bunch. For some reason, the soundstage was very narrow. Everything felt boxed in. There wasn't the usual clarity and separation that I was expecting, given my previous experience with the CHU 2, the 3.5mm version. That means the DAC on this is not doing a good job or doing it full justice. And since it's USB-C, I couldn't connect a separate DAC to this. It has its own DSP. That's the downside. It has a microphone, but the audio quality takes a hit. It's not bad at all. If you just buy this and start using it, you'll love it. But since we are comparing, relatively speaking, it's not as good as it can be. It's not reaching its full potential with its built-in Type-C DAC. So you can still buy the CHU 2, it's really nice, but get the 3.5mm version and pair it with the D07. Or you can buy that USB-C cable that Audiocular sells. The quality of that cable isn't as good as the CHU 2's cable, but it will have slightly better DAC performance. That'll be the way to go if you absolutely need to have a mic. And finally, here's the mic on the Moondrop CHU DSP. It may be a little bit more sensitive because it has its own DAC. Testing 1, 2, 3. And well, that was an overview of my favorite IEMs in this price. If you ask which one would I pick, it's a tough question, but I'll probably go with this one, the Aurora Ultra. It's an interesting approach which I am not familiar with. Maybe that's why I'm more interested in this. But you can honestly pick any of this based on my description and you'll be fine. These are all my favorites after all. If it wasn't good, it wouldn't be in the video. I can also give an honorable mention to the Truthear Gate. That's also really nice, well-balanced sound. But yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, as usual, you can leave a comment. If you're confused about anything, I'll answer it. And you know what? Let me sweeten the pot a bit more. I'll give you one of these. I'll give you this one, the KBear KB02. It's a really interesting IEM. It has one of those bone conduction drivers. Remember? I got this about a month or two ago. And this is kind of exclusive actually. I haven't seen this in many other places aside from Amazon.com and Keep Hi-Fi, which is an audio store. They supplied this to me. It's like twice the price of everything I've shown in this video, but it's pretty good. If you want to win this, as usual, no need to like, subscribe or anything. No need to do any of that. Just leave a comment and tell me what you'll use this for. How will this help you? Be genuine and I'll pick a winner in a week. That's it.